Yo, what's up guys? How's everyone doing? Got a lot of people waiting here. 75 people waiting before the stream starts. I've never had that before, you guys. With your support have been just blowing me away. And quick shout out to Mark, Crypto Boy, Lincoln, and George Shakir, all talking about the weather or in some way contributing to that, which I found really funny. We've got 31 degrees Celsius in the UK today. I actually just recorded a vlog. I might be putting that up relatively soon, but yeah, amazing weather. And I want to go over a sentiment shift today. So guys, you've seen my title here. Let me just get this a little bit more full screen. You've seen the title of this stream. So is crypto finally headed into a bull market? Because guys, today we've been seeing a lot of crypto influencers, and by extension the entire crypto community, especially on Twitter, with a very positive sentiment towards the market today, calling that we're near the bottom. And it does line up with one of my theories I went into earlier. I see a question about a bull trap. Absolutely, I think it is, but we'll get into that in a second. It lines up with that theory I mentioned where SIBO is going to be closing, the SIBO futures. I'm not going to go into it. I've gone over what that is quite a lot. I don't want to bore the people who already know what it is out, but watch my previous streams. But SIBO futures closing June 29, CME opening 2nd July, and so I've had this theory with these kinds of guys most likely being the ones that overridingly manipulate and drive this market. They may be the ones that want to start making this go bull because they've spent all this time accumulating Bitcoin, or not them because they're trading in derivatives, but you know, the other people who control the market, the whales, the market manipulators, the market makers, you know, call them anything you like. They've got a lot of Bitcoin now from shorting it, and maybe they want to pump it now. All right, that's just, you know, it's a popular theory that's being thrown around. I haven't seen too much talk about these SIBO and CME futures dates, but it's still definitely a viable, you know, thing that could play out. So, you know, what we've been seeing here with this trend is some more big volume buys. So obviously yesterday was the one that really set this one off at the point where I genuinely thought we were going pretty bearish, but it did turn out to be a fake out. I didn't follow my 1 and 3% rule, which, as you guys can see, is extremely important now. I'm glad that's turned out to be a real life experience for a lot of you very early on. So we had this massive green candle buy, and guys, my criticism of this yesterday was that the bots pumped it up. It was all bot action, but after that green candle, in my case blue, it wasn't followed through. So there were no human retail investors who after that pump decided, okay, well, I'm going to join now. I'm going to start buying Bitcoin. Nobody did that. The trading volume fell right off a cliff, as it usually does. And guys, we saw the exact same thing once again today. We have a very bullish candle here. So if I move this line a little bit down and make that line up with these wicks, you know, we bounced off support. I'm saying in speech marks, it's only 2 points. But, you know, this is still a rising wedge. We can already tell just from where the line was before. And this is a big volume buy. It took us from below 6,100 all the way up into the 6,300s. Very big. That's a very bullish candle. So we see the wick down below. I believe this is called a hammer, something like that. A bullish hammer, I don't know. But it's a bullish sign because it wicks below. My mouse has just cut out. That's amazing. Because it wicks below, and then the candle actually closes much higher. So right now we're seeing some more interesting price movements, you know, a bit of a doji candle here. So we're seeing more of the same, really. I mean, after that pump, it still wasn't followed by anything. You know, let's go over to the 1 hour, and, you know, again, the volume just drops right off. In fact, the next one is a red candle. We don't even continue higher. So again, there's no agreement after these bots pump the prices. They are just doing it to liquidate positions, all right? It's very normal. We've seen this happening, you know, a lot. But, guys, the good news about this is I'm not even on the page. We have seen increased volume over this 24-hour period, which actually does confirm this price action. So we're now pushing $18 billion, only 6 million away from that. Within 24 hours, we're going to hit it probably very soon. And that's a very good sign because, guys, on a green day like this, lots of alts doing fairly well. I mean, outperforming Bitcoin, of course, as they do. We're getting more volume today, which means there's more agreement in this. Perfect. You guys have heard me saying this over and over and over. This is what we need. It's confirmation of the trend that we're looking at. So dominance has fallen a little bit as well, not by too much, but that does show how money is going firstly probably into Bitcoin and then into other altcoins as well from Bitcoin. So it's good news from a bullish perspective, right? That's why I'm covering this bullish side of things first. My view is a little bit different. Now, guys, like I mentioned, sentiment also taking a huge shift. Lots of people are saying that we're near the bottom, and there are some very good points about it. All right, I mean, this relative triple bottom area, it's relative, right? So we did drop below this line. Like I said, that's the final support, and we failed it, but it's still possible that this is intact. No comment on that from me personally, but it's up to you if you want to decide if it is. I'm just saying it's possible that that it still is. But guys, bear in mind, you know, this kind of pattern, I've drawn the rising wedge line with you, for you guys here. It has been playing out over and over and over. I haven't even done all of them. I mean, you know, you already know the story here. You know, there's another one. There's another. I mean, there's two more potentially, but you don't need me to draw those. You already know what we're looking at. So, you know, logic would kind of would make you believe that we're filling out yet another rising wedge. And we're just going to break right down. And we could break down this time to 5,800. I think if we break down again, it is going to be very bearish and take us into the mid to low $5,000 areas if it does play out that way. What else did I have? I'm going to go through your questions in just a second. I have a fair bit more than usual streams to talk about today. It has been a very interesting day. So yeah, I mean... what we've got at the moment is, it sucks to say, but I'm also falling into the mainstream, the retail investors, what they're saying. And what we're seeing on the whole, in general, is still, you know, a lot of people still believing that this market is going to continue downward movement. And guys, it is such a strong polarization that's bearish. You know, the amount of people, the amount of retail traders that still want this to drop to $3,000, you don't have to look further than the comments on my own videos. It's pretty crazy, I think. And like I always say, the retail get wrecked. It's what they do best. They think they're smart, but, you know, they're not in general. And so it's just a classic example of what we saw yesterday, you know, which started the series of short squeezes. Let's go over to the shorts chart real quick. Where is that here? So I mean, you can see this just took us right down to previous levels. I mean, shorts could, again, you can't do TA on these things, but shorts could definitely go into free fall now and hit the bottom here because it has dropped those support levels, or at least it's testing them now. But you know, I did expect shorts to climb pretty high. I thought we were going to see something, you know, up near these levels, but apparently that's not the way these bots wanted the market to go. So these shorts have been squeezed. And guys, we look at the longs now, and longs are piling up a little bit. So I mean, this line is useless now, but you know, we're just seeing longs pile up a little bit now, a bit more more respect, I guess, for further upwards movement in this market, and you know, it's seen a massive setback with these shorts. Now guys, as for my take on things, let's go back to this Bitcoin chart. I've already went over it a little bit. What I think we're doing is just playing out another rising wedge. Alright, it's happened over and over. And guys, every time we're nearing the end of these rising wedges, we get massive bursts of hope and positivity in the market. So right now, we've got people calling us being near the bottom. Obviously, they don't want to say we are near the bottom because people will call them out and think what they're putting out is financial advice. And obviously, none of what I do is financial advice, but I'm speaking for the rest of the community. None of what the other people do is also financial advice, but people still blame them for whatever reason. They're just not responsible enough with their own money. I'm glad you guys don't do that. But, you know, we've seen this play out over and over, and with that increased hope, it's usually just before we break down, so we might get another pump up a little bit. You know, we might form another double top. So like I mentioned, we've been forming these kinds of double tops very often. We zoom out a little bit more, and we've got yet another double top over here. We have this double top at 10k. That was a bit of a more relative one, I guess, and then 11.6. So, you know, these double tops are repeating themselves. They're getting smaller and smaller each time. It's an interesting trend. I've never seen it before, but we could definitely be forming the same kind of pattern yet again. I'm seeing a lot of people talking about an inverse head and shoulders. It's definitely possible. It just depends on your stance. So there is an inverse head and shoulders here. Definitely something that you know, we can point out on these shorter time frames and also just on these larger time frames. I didn't really want to draw it out because I'm very bad at spotting them and by extension drawing them in the first place. But, you know, what we could see is something like this playing out. And of course, this is, let me complete that. This is a very bullish sort of indicator, but I think that, you know, it's open to interpretation a little bit too much. And so you can call a lot of things an inverse head and shoulders, and then it just never plays out. You know, I'm sure you can spot 10 different ones over here as well. So it's not one of the indicators I like to use. It's why I never really chart with them as often as other people will call them out. But, you know, with these drops, they get more painful every time. And I just think that we could see something like that once again, like I said, we could drop even further below 5,800. Now, look, there's still that bullish sentiment, and this time things have changed, all right? So I'm not ruling out that we have seen the bottom. I mean, this kind of a bounce is indicative of a bottom. It's just that nothing has followed after that. And actually, you saw in my Telegram posts, I did mention, you know, I think a few weeks ago now, but I mentioned it again today, where I thought we were in this disbelief stage of Bitcoin's history, I guess, where we're now going up, or, well, we're certainly not, but we're heading into that disbelief stage where we will be going up, and people will be saying this is just another sucker's rally. And guys, before I never understood that. I was thinking, how can anyone call anything a sucker's rally? But it makes sense now. Everyone's lost hope, and you know, you've seen it with the retail traders calling 3K, and so because of that, I think there's a good chance that maybe we're heading into that disbelief stage, because the retail just won't believe it's true, and you know, they might have already left by now. There's a lot of people who have pulled the plug. I mean, you guys, the 400 of you who are watching, if you could smash those likes real quick, you know, you're still in the game, which I'm guessing means you haven't lost as much as the people who left. Maybe, or maybe you just know you can make big earnings anyway. But yeah, you know, I do feel like those future dates are very important. I was even thinking of making a whole separate video on it if you guys want me to. We could definitely see a reversal there, potentially sending us to the moon or triggering that disbelief rally. Or, you know, at the very least, starting some form of an uptrend. It's possible. It's just a theory. It's one of those theories I'm subscribing to. But guys, you already know my long-term stance is bullish. Apart from that, I mean, that's pretty much it. I just wanted to bring up, you guys can drop your questions now, I'll be getting to them in just a second. I wanted to bring up this tweet from Bitcoin Birch, because what we've been seeing in the alt market is, you know, a lot of coins going, I don't know, not by much, but, you know, some going 6-12%. I saw Dignity, which was like 40%, I think, and I sold it yesterday, so that was a bad idea. Let's actually check out what Dignity is doing now. So yeah, 46%, and I sold it. It's at 2,700 sats, and I sold it at 18. So not a very smart decision on my part, but I was happy because my entry was pretty amazing on that coin. But, you know, with these alts, a lot of people are seeing, you know, some relatively small games, 6-12%, maybe max. But those gains don't mean anything for holders, because guys, the deal is with these alts, they've been declining by about, you know, 2-5% every single day for maybe the past week, and so that 6-12% gain, whatever they got, there's no net gain for the most part. They've just had the same loss as Bitcoin overall, potentially, probably still even worse. And so that's why I wanted to bring up this tweet from Bitcoin Birch. He's a pretty good guy in this space. I've been following him for a while rather. He asks, what's better, assuming that you have 5% of your portfolio in an alt and 50% of your portfolio is Bitcoin, what would be better, if the alt gets a 2x or if Bitcoin gets a 10% profit? So guys, let's use normal numbers here. Let's say you've got $100 in total, $5 in an alt, $50 in Bitcoin. If you get a 10% profit on Bitcoin, it becomes $55. If you get a 2x on $5, it becomes you get a profit of $5. So either way, the profit is $5, but I mean, 30% still would choose the 2x on an alt, and there is an issue here. I mean, this is the reason I still stay away from alts. I still don't like them yet. I'm going to be getting into them later. Of course, you guys know Crypto Mafia was originally mainly an alt channel, right? Trading alts and swinging alts, but we stopped that right when it turned bad, and so we didn't endure the same losses that many others have. And the deal is, getting a 2x on an alt is not as easy as getting a 10% profit on Bitcoin, especially if you're trading on margin. It's so easy to get 10% daily, you know, whatever you want. But, you know, a 2x on an alt, you've got to do fundamental research. You've got to get lucky with marketing. A lot of it is, you know, a lot more of it is luck when you're looking at altcoins, which is why I just don't like them as much. And so we've still got 30% of people saying that a 2x on an alt is better. Obviously, the results with a lol, because they're both the same. 44% did realize, but there were still people who didn't. And this is a distinction you guys need to be aware of. So I'm going to go through some of your questions now. What's my favorite altcoin? I will have to think about that for a bit. I don't really have one, because I don't get emotionally attached to any alts. I used to have them, but not anymore. You know, maybe Binance. Maybe. I'm not even a huge fan of Binance, just because it's the favorite of so many others. It's kind of a stupid reason, but no, I'm not a big alt guy. I mean, I can make better profits swinging Bitcoin, and so I've been doing that. But when the alt market does look good again, there is probably usually less risk with alts than margin, so I will be going into that. I've seen my portfolio take a $5,000 swing, I'm guessing dollar, in the past 24 hours. I'm in this for the long run. Yeah, exactly. I'm hoping that swing was upwards, though, because it has been a green day. But yeah, no, I mean, yeah, of course. With a swing like that, I'm sure you are, because it's just not phasing you. What else have we got? Lots of talk about alts. Guys, I'm still not going to be going through that. Alts are crap. I'm still not going to be going through alts, because I'm looking for confirmation. So guys, let me give you my thoughts on confirmation, alright? So confirmation for a bull trend. It's going to be, if we breach 64, that's not even the hard part though, it's going to be 6,800. This is the big resistance area. We can tell that by looking at the VPVR. I went through this with a VIP member. Guys, if you are interested in VIP, definitely hit me up. I've just scheduled a call with someone. I think that was like 3 hours ago now. We had a very interesting, productive call, and I went through all of these indicators, explaining it to him. You get that personal experience with us. So if you are interested, link below and hit me up. My name is at the bottom of each post. Join the Telegram group there. But I went through the volume profile, the visible range indicator here. And guys, what this... My mouse is cut out again. That's so annoying. And what this tells you is the amount of trading that goes on at these set prices. So the idea here is, if you have breached an area like this, so 6,100 to 6,200 roughly, there is a lot of volume being traded here. And so once you breach it and you go above, it should be a relatively easy run to get to the next area of resistance. And you can tell this is an area of resistance because there's more volume being traded over here, which is about 6,400. That's why I've got my line there. And then, you know, once we pass above 65, it's an easy run up to 67. And this is where the big resistance is. So like I mentioned, this is a big level. Once we get past 68, it's an easy run up to 74. And really, this is how I, you know, it's one of the ways I tell how easily can we rise from one level to the next. And it's a great way to go long. It's a great way to go short. So, for example, if we were to breach 6,800 and go above, I would take a very comfortable long up here because I know there's a strong chance we're at least going to hit the 7,400 level. So with that $600 price movement, I would have easily gotten a 2x, potentially even a 3x depending on my leverage. And so that's what I do. I think I've just gotten a few messages about VIP. I will get back to you in a second, right after this stream. Your disdain of Binance is exactly why I don't drive Audis anymore. This has nothing to do with car choices, but what's my stance on IOTA? I like it, but I will have to reconsider if it's a good buy. I like it fundamentally, though. We will go to $8,000 in the next 30 days, then move back down to 55 to 5,000, and then bounce violently. That will cement the bottom as we enter phase C, the spring of the Wyckoff cycle. Timeless being, I think we've already failed the Wyckoff cycle. I did cover that in a previous stream. But I do like what you've said about hitting 8K, let's call it 7,700, because I don't think we'll be going higher than that, and then going down to 5,500. I can definitely see that happening. That would create a much larger rising wedge. It could happen within this week, probably not, but we could definitely be seeing something like that. It's not off the cards completely. And then, you know, bounce right down, and it would be probably a violent sort of capitulation downwards, and then, like you mentioned, a violent bounce up, definitely possible. So that would be a V-shaped correction. You'd get a lot of buys in a very short period of time. It would be a lot like a February the 6th, where we had a big jump back up. So I could definitely see that happening, but I don't think we're going to hit 8,000 anyway, but if we do, yeah, I think that's what might happen. Fiat is the one dying. It's a bit of a polarized approach. I don't think Fiat's going to die anytime soon. 2x from 68 to 74. Yeah, so Super Dino, man. I mean, the way the margin works is if I enter at 6,800 and I'm trading with 25 times leverage, that means I get 25 times the profit. So a move from 6,800 to 7,400 is $600. So if I have one Bitcoin, I get $600 worth of profit. But if I have 25 times leverage, because my maths is terrible, I have 600 times 25, which gives me a $15,000 profit. All right, that's if I take 25 times leverage. And so you make a lot more profits trading on leverage. $15,000 compared to $600, you know, it's not even a question. So yeah, you can definitely 2x your position just by trading on margin with that kind of a move. Nikki Nicholas, are you actually 16 years old? Yes, I am. Curious Fear, not just with, I think you're talking about a previous, oh no you're not. Not just with alts, main stuff not doing that great as well. Hope it will just all return to a decent price. Yeah, I'm sure it will eventually. A lot of these alts, I mean, the thing is, we could be seeing, go back to the coin market cap page here. Yeah, I'm seeing a lot of people betting on these top 100 coins, and it's not a bad idea, definitely. But usually what we see is new coins entering the top 100, or maybe the top 50, top 15. I think the top 15 is a much more secure selection of coins, but you know, a lot of people betting on coins that have already had their parabolic runs. I think what would be more productive would be to look at coins that haven't had their parabolic run yet, but are still very strong fundamentally. And this is why I am not a fundamental analyst. It's just a bit too boring for me. So I do prefer to make those profits in other ways. But if you are not, you know, as, you know, if your mind isn't tailored enough to a chart and you'd rather be reading white papers and filling out the BS, I mean, filtering out the BS, please don't fill it out, with ICOs, with small cap coins and all that, if that's your thing, perfect. I know a lot of people like that and they do extremely well. And that's definitely one way to make nice profits. But, you know, my approach is slightly different, and it has been working out pretty well. 16, you expected 25. No, that is my age. Digibyte is your best bet, hands down. Yeah, Digibyte is a strong one. This is actually, you know, like I mentioned, these top 100 is not going to do as well, but Digibyte is one of those that I think can still run and have a parabolic run. So, it's done it many times before. Well, only 2 times, but that's good enough, right? So, I can definitely see it rising very nicely. And, you know, hitting those kind of previous highs. That looks like a very strong resistance at, you know, at that line. At a $1.2 million market cap, I believe. Sorry, billion, I think. I don't know. Yeah, that's 1.2 billion. So, I mean, to get from here to there, it would be a 6x gain. And a 6-time gain is pretty good. You know, all of my profits in margin trading is just kind of making me question why go to alts anyway. But I do realize that, you know, especially the US viewers I've got, a lot of you guys, I think most of you are from the US actually, can't trade on margin. So even just for you guys, because I love you so much, I will be going to alts. Yeah, nice. The market is turning back to a stable state of normalcy. Nothing is perpetual in nature. How can you expect markets to be this way? 2018 will be a year of consolidation. The tides will turn in 2019. Timeless being very nice, well-written comment. I think that's definitely a theory that could play out. That's something I would subscribe to as well. I think, you know, this is a year of consolidation. 2019, it goes haywire. 2020, it really just absolutely smashes every expectation with the Bitcoin halving, which makes it twice as difficult to mine. I can definitely see that happening. 2020 lines up really well, but I think there's still a very good chance that we are going to be seeing positive price, you know, some kind of a bull market within this year. I think it's possible. USA is the best country in the world. Love the community. Yeah, the community is a bit questionable, but it's nice, especially this one. I feel like there's no bullshit in this community. It's pretty good. People are calling 4,500 to 5,000 because it's the 786 fib level. It's just how markets and fractals work in this universe we live in. It's nature plus maths plus psychology. I mean, this, you know, nature plus maths plus psychology, that aspect blows me away. I mean, it just lines up so well every time. And so I do see why you've called 45 to 5,000. You've mentioned that other people have done the same. Yeah, I mean, I'm not ruling it out, but I just, you know, we'll have to take this by the day. I'm not the kind of guy that's going to call a bottom. Like I said, you can never call the bottom. So I think there's a very good chance that people are calling 45 and we genuinely are going that low. Then we may hit something like 3,000, and that's also a target people are calling. So it's all very messy, and I don't get involved with that stuff. While those people who are calling calling targets are just sitting on the sidelines waiting for it, I am still making profits. Jayan, how did you learn at 16, and how long ago did you start? That's the video I mentioned I've recorded today, the vlog. I've made an entire video on that. I've been getting so many people asking me that exact question. And so I will be going over that in that video. I might upload it right after this one, or whatever the deal is. Curious Fair, what's your opinion on Omai's Go? Used to be my favorite coin, but they're just not doing anything interesting anymore. I mean, they're not kind of in the news, so I'm not focusing on that too much. I admire you. We are so jealous of you Brits here in US. That we can't margin trade. Yeah, no, Stacey, it sucks. I mean, whatever. I'm pretty sure there are, I think it's called like accredited investors. I'm pretty sure they're allowed to do things like that. It's just that normal citizens can't, and it's just extremely stupid. Very good question I've just seen here. How to find the VPVR indicator. Yeah, it's annoying because it's hard to find, I've found, on TradingView. But yeah, you just do type in VPVR, and it is visible range. So it's not even the same name they give you, but visible range is the name of this indicator. And, like I said, it's like Ichimoku. I might make a completely separate video just on this one. It's like Ichimoku in that it's a very powerful indicator, but it's just hard to learn how to use it at first. But yeah, no, I think this is a good one to definitely be looking at. Zcash still worthwhile to buy? I don't know, but I wouldn't go into alts at the moment. Zcash also has a lot of manipulation, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe I'm thinking about the wrong one there, but guys, download Tor browser and you can use BitMEX from the US. I mean, Tor is dark web, isn't it? So wouldn't you be looking for something like Opera for the VPN? But even then, I mean, it's still risky. If you get caught, they might shut your account down. I don't know what happens, but you might not get your money back. Anyway, you're very well measured in your thoughts and opinions and not biased. Thank you, Lee. Yeah, I mean, I just, remove the bias. Let's be realistic. Take the emotion out of it, and then we start talking. Yeah, that's the deal. Yeah, Alpha BMW. You'll see actually. You'll see the video I put out with the vlog. If you don't believe me. Are we going back up now? I like that very direct question. I don't think we are, but there's a lot of arguments in favor for the idea that we are. But I'm still a bit bearish. I'm still going to be sitting this out and seeing how it plays out. So I haven't been making any trades. I'm not interested in making any trades. The liquidity itself is really bad, but even then, I think liquidity must have improved by now because of this volume, 18 billion. Now, like I said, it should happen very soon. What was my point? Right, yeah. I'm not going to be trading in this range, just because it's it's like kind of flipping a coin at this point. Whether we go up or down. But VPVR is telling us that we could have a fairly easy ride up to 64. Sorry, 64. I wish 74. But yeah, guys, I mean, that's pretty much my TA done for today. I've covered everything I wanted to. If you guys have any last questions, definitely drop them here and we'll go through them right before I end this stream here, 29 minutes long. I do like hitting this kind of soft spot for streams. Guys, if you haven't already subscribed to this channel, I think it was 80% of my viewers, of the viewers rather, watching these videos or streams are not subscribed. So, that was a bit disturbing. So if you do want to subscribe, definitely go ahead and do that. Tick the bell so you don't miss out on notifications and all that stuff. And of course, if you could smash that like button, 400 of you here. I mean, if you could all smash that, that would probably be record breaking. I don't think you ever get a 100% like rate ever. Maybe on a video with like 10 views, but apart from that, I don't think it ever happens. What else have we got? This is quite a risky market to trade on margin. Yes, it is. I mean, that's why I'm not doing it. It's very evident with high-frequency trading bots running the show. Timeless Being, you're putting out some really good points here. Thank you. Yeah, no, these bots are making it a very bad climate to be trading alts. I mean, trading Bitcoin on leverage, especially if you're trading these, smaller time frame movements. If you are, why? I mean, that's such a bad idea. Again, not financial advice, but I would never do it. Because the bots, their intention is to liquidate positions. If you guys want to know more about this, you can watch Crypto Kirby. He knows way more about these bot price actions than I do. They are just trying to liquidate positions. So I genuinely, why would you, as a human, try to fight with these bots that can make thousands of calculations a second, and they are ruling the market. There's a reason that human traders have stopped. And it's predominantly bots trading the market, especially, I mean, on these shorter time frames. But, when we go to something more like this, these are trends we can predict. These are trends we have profited from. Like you guys saw, from 6,700 down to about 61, I had a 3 times gain. These are things we can profit from, but not these short-term movements. So that's why I stay out of it. What else have we got? I think those are most of the questions done. I know I'm missing some. It's just because I'm blessed with having a very active chat. 150 likes. You guys are amazing. Planning on 6th form college? I am in 6th form. I haven't been going lately. Alpha BMW, can you hit me up on Telegram with those details, please? Yeah, sure. I will hit you up with those right after this stream. Or if you could message me, because I might forget. I think I got a lot of messages. Sharu, what's up, man? Best time to get in? I would say, yeah, so I forgot to go over this. I would say wait for confirmation. So if we pass something like 6,800, that would be good confirmation that we're going up. If you want even better confirmation, wait for us to rise above 7,800. Alright, so that's what I would wait for. Lots of bad language in this chat, goodness. These comments are being held for review. You guys should learn, Let's be a bit more diplomatic in here. Do you consider ETH as an alt? That's a good question. I consider it as among the big 3. So it's like a Venn diagram. You get the big 3 on one side, you get alts on the other side. Ethereum is in the middle. Which moving averages do I use? I use all of these. EMA 21, 25, 50. Sorry, 30. I mean, you take a screenshot of this if you want. Let's get this black. So I use all of these. This is my EMA ribbon, one of my favorite indicators. And this is also telling us heavy resistance. So we could go slightly above this and form a double top and then break down. But either way, this is a bearish sign. Yeah, I am good. Thank you, Sho, for asking. I hope you're doing well as well. I mean, all those exams finished. Hope it's going well. You ever considered the production cost of Bitcoin at $6,000? Yes, I've covered that in other streams with major players like Bitmain. Do you really think they will let price action drop well below $6,000? I don't think they're going to care, especially if it means accumulating cheaper Bitcoins. The opportunity cost is very low compared to the gains they could have if it means accumulating cheaply and then sending it up to 20k. And people will willingly mine at a loss. So I'm not worried about that at all. Spam perps, keep away. Bitcoin will go to $1,000. I mean, this is the kind of thing I'm talking about, targets like 1,000, 3,000. I mean, maybe, I'm not ruling it out, but, I mean, I'm ruling 1,000 out, yeah. I'm ruling that out, but, when retail is saying, when people like, we're retail, all right, let's get real, we are retail. So when we're calling numbers like this, it's probably not going to happen. Like, why would the market makers, the people in charge of this type of thing, why would they play into our hands? They would never do that. Yeah, no, they would never. When you check with trend-based fib, 4,900 is the target. Yeah, so that lines up with 45 to 5,000, I think, that time that's being pointed out, if that was him. Martin, I love you, man. Thank you. I'm sorry for using you as a bit of a scapegoat with that example, but, it's all part of learning and growing. But, guys, with that, I am going to be signing off here. I've covered everything I wanted to. My overall stance is that we are still going to go down, but I do recognize the arguments that we are going up. And if you guys agree with that, that's all you, all right? We're all independent traders here. Guys, if you're not already in my Telegram channel, I post all of my signals there. Actually, all of my signals do go to VIP, but not to gold. So if you guys are interested in VIP, you can also hit me up and we can talk about that there. And of course, if you haven't already subscribed, if you haven't already liked the video, tick that bell, then let's get that action going on. But guys, with that, I will be signing off. I hope you've had a wonderful day. I hope you've enjoyed the stream, found some substance out of it, all that good stuff. Yeah, I'm going to be signing off. I've just realized the reason my mouse is cutting out is because it's out of battery. It's kind of obvious. It's a wireless mouse. That's first world problem, but I will be signing off with that one, guys. I hope you have enjoyed this stream, and I'm out. Peace.